Alright, hello everybody. Today we're just going to be going over Mythic Dragons. We're just going to be doing exactly the same thing I did before, just going over how I can improve my gameplay. A lot of people tended to like that last time I did it, so here we go again. So this is probably, I think we got dragons in 13 pools, Mythic Dragons, so not very practiced at all on this boss. And that's good. So you can see, there's going to be a lot of mistakes going through this video, so it's perfect what we're going to be pointing out. So the whole idea for me in this fight is pretty much just to be a throughput healer. So we're using powered shield as much as we can. We want to try and stay up between around 4 to 5 atonements, possibly even going up to 6 or 7. But it does get very inefficient to be applying atonements, and you'll find that your mana will really struggle if you're trying to constantly maintain 7. So during this whole fight. So this was a very long fight for us. This was actually 9 minutes, and that's because we had some people die during the end. So the last phase took forever. But I believe this was the first time we got it beneath 30% HP, and we just managed to kill the boss. So it was a pretty good attempt nevertheless. So we're going through here. We're making sure everybody has atonements. One thing I know I wasn't very good at this week, when I did it for the first time, was just targeting the right ads. I tended to target the boss majority of the time and not actually switch to any of the ads. This one thing I was trying to do this week was actually making sure I was running over and targeting the dread horrors, and being a good raid leader and doing what I say, and not just saying it and not doing it myself. So you can see here we're pretty much just attacking the boss for pretty much the whole fight, which is not good. But healing as disc and healing in general in this fight, there's a lot going on, especially if you're trying to raid lead, call out cooldowns and the rest of it. So excuse my bad behavior. So here we see we're falling off a bit of the atonements. That's not good. But I mean, there's not the problem in this fight is that you don't have something constantly to attack. So when the dragons are swapping, you don't want to be sitting there shadow mending constantly. Your mana will just evaporate. You really just want to be trying to heal with like smite, just powered shielding, and just making sure you're doing a lot of throughput there. What I will do at the end of this video, I reckon, is I will go through my logs and we'll just go, have a little recap on like what I did for the first week and what I did for the second week. I wish I recorded this week. I was really annoyed I didn't, because I thought I had a really good run, and I was quite surprised with my performance. I didn't get any clouds or anything like that, so it was very good. So we're holding Mindbender here for probably a little bit too long. It's really important, especially in these very long fights, that we're getting Mindbender on cooldown. And also, just because of how long this fight is, you're not, you have to trust in your other healer as well. We are 5 healing this, so as you can see right now, we're going to have Whitey coming across in a second. He's going to be picking up some of the healing. So when the other healer does come back, you don't have to stress out about topping people. In dragons, there's never really any burst damage if you're killing the ads properly, and if you're killing the corruptions that spawn very quickly and making sure you're in top. There is literally no burst damage in this fight, and you're just healing people in the flowers. You just got to make sure you have an atonement on people in the flowers. So as you can see, the purple debuff there, you just got to make sure we have atonement on them constantly. So we could be doing a better job there. As you can see, I'm shadow mending to top some people up because we have nothing to kill here, and some people were getting pretty low because the portal brute is about to run off again. So one thing that I'm always pretty on top of is using majority of my globals, and making sure we're casting constantly on the boss. So always casting. That's the key. What are we doing here? We're playing at 6 stacks. Not good. But I mean, if we have to apply atonements, we have to apply atonements. What I should really be doing is just smiting more to actually be healing these atonements rather than trying to get out more. Once you get up into about once you get over, 6 to 7 as well, you got to consider that you just used the last 6 globals within the last 15 seconds, or even more than that, because you have atonements dropping off here and there on applying atonement. So you actually haven't done much healing to those atonements. So this whole style of trying to be a throughput healer, you're optimally trying to be healing at around 4 to 5, because that's where you get the most optimal pattern out of your atonements. So if you're I'll try and say that in a better way. So when you're putting out atonements, they have that static duration. So if you're not actually healing them while they're out, while you have high stacks, you're not going to be very high on your throughput. So you're actually much better in choosing 5 appropriate people to heal, and then making sure you get out as much damage as possible. So this is a big control fight. We're getting low on mana here. You have to try and find a good spot to drink. The ideal point to be drinking this fight is just after the roots have gone out, and then the whatever they are, the defiled spirits. No, not the defiled spirits. The roots you get rooted on the ground, so you just got to dispel yourself and run out of. After that goes out, that's when you want to be taking a drink. You got Mind Bender coming up here. I do believe I drink in a second. I'm not drinking because we're trying to get through this heavy damaging phase. I've just got my Mind Bender back up, so we have a little bit of mana to heal out, and I know the portal group's coming out now. So I should be drinking just after this, or not. Come on, Carl, what are you doing? This is it's not really the best video to commentate, just because there literally isn't really that much that you want to be doing. You have to be very efficient with your mana. If your average fight time for this, I would probably say on your first skill is going to be about 8 minutes. So you have to be aware of that. And you can see here we've got 4 people dead, so the rest of the fight does take quite a long time. So as you get knocked out of the flower, just make sure you're running back in. Right here, what I should be doing is, rather than switching, back onto the boss, I don't even have a Purge of the Wicked on the boss here. Bad me. So we should be switching to these Dread Horrors on top of me, because they're reducing my damage down by 50%. So we've got the Hunter attacking them, but I should be just, rather than spamming out all these Raptures. That's another thing as well. When you've got your Rapture up, make sure you're actually still using your Penance on cooldown. Unless it's like something like Ursoc, where everyone's going to be topped. Using Rapture, using... Your Powered Shield isn't a very big healing cooldown. So spamming out the point of Rapture is to get out a lot of, efficient atonements. So you want to be using Penance in between that to actually be doing some throughput healing. So that's something I didn't do there. I was just rapturing, every single person in the group, and then not doing any smites. I didn't even cast my Light's Wrath there. So that's definitely something, I've been aware of, and I have been trying to improve. It's just weaving in between Rapture, so making sure we actually get things like Mindbender, even Light's Wrath and Penance. They're probably the big spells you want to be using during that period of time, because that's actually going to be a throughput gain over just using another Powered Shield. So here we're still holding on to Light's Wrath for a very long time. There's not really any good situations to use Light's Wrath in this, so I just use it off cooldown, like this week when I killed it. But yeah, so in this fight, I was taking Twist of Fate, and I just chose that over Power Infusion just because it had a really high uptime on my first kill. As you can see, a lot of people are getting low constantly. So, that's partially due to the fact that we're also got a Resto Shaman, so, they pretty much top somebody as soon as someone gets low, they top them. So it's good to know what your other healers do as well. So we're always having people getting low, so the Twist of Fate had a very high uptime. Alright, well, that wasn't the best, but I hope you did kind of learn something from just me talking about, what kind of decisions I was making when I was playing. Alright, thanks for watching.